G'day guys, Ricky here, Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. And just as a bit of a follow-up to the video we did last week, we thought we'd break down some of the pros and cons of coins and some of the different sizes and disadvantages and advantages of those. So there's a few follow-up questions from the previous video, so we thought we'd clarify those first. A couple of people asked about whether or not what defines a coin. So in its most basic form, coins are issued by a sovereign mint, which means they'll have a face value. So I've just plucked this kangaroo out of buybacks. So if you see on the base there, it says it's got $1 face value. So no matter what country that's in, whether it's a Canadian coin or otherwise, they'll have a face value. So that's generally the definition of a coin. Now, I wanted to sort of expand a little bit on the pros and cons as we did in the last video. So as we mentioned, coins with that sovereign mintage, they also come with a lot of security features. So yes, they've got a face value, they're more recognizable. They also have a number of security features. So they have like a P engravement. I don't know if we can get close enough to see it, but I'm sure everyone's seen it before, just there on the right hand side. That's a micro engravement just as an added security feature, along with the radial lines and the wave lines on the obverse there. So now the pros and cons, as we spoke about in the previous video for coins, is recognizability. So all of these fulfill that pro, but for my mind, I'm not big on the non-encapsulated sovereign mint coins like the kangaroos. I do like the maples, they're a really pretty coin, but the advantages that we spoke about in the previous video in regards to additional premiums and things like that on the secondary market, you don't typically get those with the unencapsulated mass-produced products from the mints. For instance, like if you're buying silver in the secondary market, a Kanga's about as cheap as it's going to get. You'll often get a better premium for some rounds than Kangas, or in some cases Krugers or Maples. Those have a little bit of a premium still associated with them because they're a little bit more expensive to buy in the first place, being here in Australia. So there's additional shipping costs and things like that for the suppliers. But the main benefit I find with the coins is that you do get that increased premium on top of obviously the recognizability. So things like this one, obviously this is the Wedgetail Eagle, so that's the 2023 one. They will often attract a premium when they first come out from the mint. They might be $7 over spot or something like that, and you'll likely start to see within a couple of years, you'll start to see $8, $9, $10 a spot for some of the Wedgetails. There's a couple of years there that are pretty hard sought after that have some crazy premiums on them. Like this one, this is a 2-ounce 2020 mouse from the Lunar series. So, you know, at today's spot price, this is probably, you know, like if we would have purchased this as a buyback, it's probably about $90. But I wouldn't be surprised to see these going for over $250, closer to $300 per coin. So there's obviously a huge premium attached to those, and that's just on a mintage number and things like that. Now, we've mostly got Australian coins here just because obviously that's a bit more of our knowledge base and we're a bit more familiar with them, but there are other coins that do get some collectability, but particularly the Lunar series from the Perth Mint. So these in the 2-ounce and the 5-ounce and things like that, often you'll find get a really good premium at a later date. So, and then obviously, as we said, as you move up into the kilos and things like that, now I could be wrong, other people might have had other experiences, but in my experience, like the kilos, whilst they do get a premium associated with them, so this year's kilo Lunar series might cost you about $15.50, but you can still often buy backdated Lunar coins for, as a percentage gain in premium, it's quite low in comparison to the smaller sizes such as the 2, 5 and 1 ounce. So that just goes back to our first video where the benefit of these coins often sort of erodes as you move up in size. So you can still buy some Series 2 Lunas, even the mouse in the Series 3, like you can probably pick those up for $1,850, something around there, maybe $1,900. But given that the current year is over $1,500, the percentage gain that you've acquired there might be 25%, whereas if you'd picked up the 2 ounce, you would have gained, many multiples in that premium, so 3 or 4 times. Another big thing with these, I was watching Joe Main on Good Morning Stackers, so it's a great show, by the way. So if you're not tuning into that every morning, jump over there and have a look. He does some great technical analysis and just some general discussion. Now, he was talking about acquiring free silver and basically manipulating the premium that you're going to acquire with some of these more collectible coins, whether it's the Cook or the Wedgetail, or pick your poison. Now, I had an interesting thing that I read a couple of years ago about this, and I found it was a bit of an eye-opener. Now, what you can do, like if you've taken a fancy to a particular series, such as the Wedgetail, especially early on in the series, if Perth Mint was to bring out a new series and you think, oh, this is one I'm going to collect all of them on, I've actually had suggested to me that if you were to go ahead and go, okay, because you know what these cost currently, and say they're $50 an ounce when they come out. For the Wedgetail, say this was the first year, for instance, and you went ahead and bought a tube of 20, you've essentially locked in the cost of collecting that series, because you can then take the 2023 Wedgetail, and when the 2024 Wedgetail comes out, you can either sell or trade one of your 2023 Wedgetails to acquire a 2024. And essentially the sunk cost for you is going to be the same as when you first purchased it. So you'll pick up some premiums, maybe $5 in the first couple of years, but then as the series rolls on, especially if you've done that with the first in the series, you're going to find that premium is going to grow extremely high. So, and not financial advice, it's most likely to grow. So then by the time you get to the 4th, 5th, 6th one in the series, you might find that you're swapping the first in the series plus $20 or $30 in your direction to acquire the next year. So it's just, I thought it was an interesting trick. When I read it, I'd never thought about it like that. But it allows you to acquire and you get the growth of the premium, and it allows you to acquire the series progressively without getting into these extreme costs towards the back end. In my mind, like I said, I stick to the Perth Mint products. There are some others though that are noteworthy. We won't go through all of them. The RAM Deadliest Creatures series is also a good one that seems to attract a premium as time rolls on. But there are others, for those watching in other countries, I'm sure there's some in your country from your sovereign mint or otherwise that build that collector premium for people looking to backdate their collections. But I think it's an interesting angle. As I said, I think it's got a place in everyone's stack. Historically the 2 and 5 ounce in the Luna series has done really well, but pick your poison. But you can get that advantage into your stack by acquiring some of these products, and you might be lucky enough. I'm not saying all of them do as well as the mouse did, but you might be lucky enough if you're picking and choosing around which ones you think might attract a premium in the future. And if you're lucky enough to have picked up a roll of 2020 2 ounce mouse, you'd be laughing now. So it does add a bit of benefit to your stack, so you've got some potential premium growth. And as I say, if you take advantage of the other products, bars and rounds, you can fulfill some other needs for your stack. But this is really about your growth side of your stack outside of the metals content. So this could allow you to potentially increase your stack size and or increase the value of your stack overall without having to spend any more to acquire like bulk ounces. So it's an important piece of the puzzle, and I think everyone can agree that these are likely to give you the best returns in the long term. And there are some duds out there, don't get me wrong, it's not a surefire strategy. There are some coins that just will never get that premium that some of these might. But do your own research, have a look around. You can get a bit of a feel for what's popular and what's not popular. Choose something you like, you know, and you shouldn't have any issues. And at the end of the day, if you choose something you like and, you know, you get to keep it because it's maybe not financially viable to move it on, then, you know, you're not going to be too upset about it. But anyway, I hope that covers off on a few things, maybe gives you a few ideas. Really appreciate everyone watching. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that. Turn on notifications, it helps with the algorithm. And also, if you are interested in purchasing precious metals here in Australia, please look us up. We do try our best to carry a good range and offer a great service. So you can head over to perthbullion.com.au and have a look at any of our products. And we look forward to bringing you another video like this.